Alrighty, folks. Happy Positive Friday. Of course, coming at you from live from the UPL studio. Of course, it is Positive Friday. So here we are. I just want to say that this live recording is sponsored by the Crop Marketing Made Cool Conference. There are still tickets available. Thank you to everyone that has purchased a ticket so far, but we still have a couple available. So if you're interested in joining us in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, December 9th, 10th, and 11th, I think I got those dates correct. RyanDenny.ca. You can go and get all the details there. All right. I also need to mention, new show sponsor, Brett Young. Today's a big day. A big deadline today, November 14th, Friday, November 14th, with a minimum commitment of 16 bags of canola seed. You get, did my voice just get really high there? Do you get $50 off per bag? All right. Minimum 16 bags. All you have to do, reach out to your Brett Young, or pardon me, your retail, and they'll get you all those details. But today's the deadline. That's why I wanted to get on the show this week, just to make sure you're aware. If you want to save some money with Brett Young, today's the day. Now, just a little extra, it's winter's it's coming. All right. It's on its way anyway. And even though it was 20 degrees where I was yesterday in southern Alberta, it's coming. And Brett Young is giving away up to 3 of these. All right. Up to 3. So not just one chance to win, but 3. $5,000 travel voucher, Air Canada or WestJet is what it says. And again, you can get all the details on Brett Young's website. But if you qualify, you may get your name in to this draw and potentially win yourself a little vacation money. Because, hey, winter is coming. I think that contest closes in June of 2026. So you'll hear about it a few more times from me. All right, I wanted to put on a little live show today because it's been a minute, so it's nice to see you. Of course, put out our 100th episode last week. We actually haven't talked crop marketing here for a little bit. We've had some fun with the show, and this week I took a little vacation time. All right, I took a little time to last minute. Chantel said, "Hey, why don't we just get away for a couple days?" And I said, absolutely. We went down to Banff, Alberta, and stayed at a resort. You pick, when you have small kids, you pick your resorts based on some of the amenities, right? And so we picked a place with 2 water slides, which is fantastic. One of my positive moments of the week is, both my kids just having a great time on the water slides. And then an indoor playground, right? So we picked our venue based on some of this stuff, right? That's what you do. And so we walk into the hotel room, and it's like a townhouse. And I'm not here to pick on any business or any organization, but we open the door to the room, and it's nice and clean. That's the first thing Chantel says. It's nice and clean. And I just looked at her and I said, you know what? I don't know if I can be sober in this room. You ever have that? Like when you get to a hotel where you're like, yeah, this is like a party hotel or party room. So the one cupboard, so it had a kitchenette and a loft upstairs, but the cupboards, there's 4 doors. And whoever repaired, someone must have ripped the cupboard door off. And so whoever repaired it just put it upside down handle. The other 3 were in line. This handle was way higher, and that didn't seem to matter. They repaired it, and beautiful feature. But anyways, we had a great time. My kids, the kids learned this in preschool, but we talk about doing hard things. And so Finn, our youngest, no fear, and he's up and down those water slides, with dad, right? Can't swim yet, so we're going up and down like crazy. He's having a blast. And for Will, it took some time to get familiar with the space. She's the oldest, right? I was the oldest of 4. I get it. I can relate because I was a very cautious kid as well. And so it took a day or 2, and then she got out there, got on the water slides, and we couldn't stop her. So she got the confidence. and tell our kids you could do hard things, and yeah, you might have butterflies at the top of this water slide, but we're gonna have fun. And she did. So that was great. So that's a positive moment for this week. 100 episodes. Thank you so much, everyone that tunes in regularly or hits that subscribe button on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much. 100 episodes um, was, I don't know when you're supposed to celebrate these things, but these milestones, or when milestones even happen. But the 100th episode, I thought that was a cool one. And I don't know, maybe the next one will be like the 500th episode. I don't know. I'll have to do some research and find out. So that was cool. So thanks again. And then other positive moment, last one for this week, is my mom turned 60, right? My mom turned 60 this week. They're out enjoying Europe. They're in France right now and celebrating mom's 60th. So that's very cool as well. So happy birthday, mom. All right. So we did a little getaway. So this week's podcast, just a little bit different, some clips that we recorded here over the last week or so. I met with Deb Van Berkel from the CCAW. She's a therapist with the Canadian Centre for Agricultural Wellbeing. We had a great little discussion. Deb is one of our keynote speakers as well in Moose Jaw. We wrap up the conference with Deb, and again, just talking about mental health, and of course we have the auction going on right now, charity auction, with all proceeds, all monies collected from this auction are going to help fund the farm crisis, the mental health line. All right. And so I just want to give a shout out to some of the organizations that are helping us out with this auction. Of course, you can find the details at ryandenny.ca. But we've got 6-month subscriptions from Chuck Penner. We got 1-year subscriptions from Trent Clarenbach. We've got Sarah with Trigger Grain with a 6-month subscription up there. We've got a Cabela's gift card. We've got a cribbage board. I made these cribbage boards a couple of weeks ago. They're beautiful cribbage board. We have a Crop Marketing Made Cool conference ticket. We've got a Lunchbox Crew subscription in there. UPL donating 200 acres of Battalium, right? That's a pretty serious prize. The retail value, that's close to $7,000. Who else am I missing here? The list goes on and on. ryandenny.ca. You can find all the details there, and it closes, I think, on the 23rd. So about 9-ish days, something like that. The auction closes there. There's some fun stuff, and there's some more serious stuff as well for those that want to talk crop marketing with some of these professionals out there. All right, but thank you so much for everyone who's bidding, everyone who's participated with a donation. Again, things going to the CCAW. So we have that this week, and then I also did an interview with Tyler Yaremchuk from the Nation Network. Actually, it was just it was before the football games here this past weekend. But anyway, some hockey talk and just catching up on the NHL with Tyler. All right. So we'll get back to some more normal type content next week. I've got some fun travel next week, but we'll put together a solid episode for you guys to tune into. All right. Now I'm delayed on the voicemail contest from October. So I want to thank John, number one. John was the one who said that he was going to sit down and work on his crop marketing plan. Actually, scratch that. John and Colin, both of those guys, sent in voicemails and said, we are going to sit down and figure out our crop marketing plan this weekend and get this, right the ship. All right. So good on you guys. Thanks for sending that out. It seemed to be a little sensitive. So we flipped again. The Jays were in the thick of it in the playoff run, and we said, just give us a go Blue Jays go. And so Brenda, Linda, Jacob, Sharon, those come to mind anyway. Those were some great go Blue Jays go messages out there. And our winner, again, the only prize I think that I haven't shown on the show yet is this beautiful John Deere LED light, which is still, I know where it is. It's paid for, but I still don't have it physically with me. But Jacob, congratulations. Jacob Farms, I believe he said Millet, Alberta. Hopefully that's the right one there, Jacob. But you were the only Jacob who submitted a voicemail this month. So we definitely have the right guy. But congratulations. You win that John Deere Light. We will get it. Probably just have to drop it off the way it's going and get it in your possession. So we're going to take a couple weeks off now from the voicemail. All right. We're going to come back at you in the first week of December. All right. Before the conference, we'll come back to you with a new voicemail contest for the month of December. It's going to be a great one. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be a great prize package. So we're going to build up a little bit of excitement leading into that. All right. Okay. Now, from a crop marketing perspective, of course, recording this live on your Friday here, November 14th, the USDA report has come out less than an hour ago, and I'll just take a look here at. I'm not going to list all these numbers here. I'll just bore you. You already know them. They're an hour old. But from a themes perspective, U.S. ending stocks from the month of September to now, a slight increase for corn, beans, and for wheat. Is the market expecting that? I guess so, because it's after a sharp sell-off right after the report. It's they're kind of rebounding here for the most part. Beans are still down 17 cents. All right. So we'll see where we go. World ending stocks as well came in a little bit higher than the September USDA report. So just more supply, maybe some bigger yields out of the US. Yeah, just more supply, I guess. I'm just looking at yields now. It looks like corn came in at 184. Trade was, around the 185-ish. Soybeans 53.1, and the trade seemed to be right there. So I don't know, not a big market mover for you. There's a lot of USDA data that will come out here over the next weeks to try to catch up after the government shutdown. But for this report, it didn't help. It didn't boost our markets today. It didn't really give us, legs to go and break above some of these resistance points and to go and find some new highs. You've got spring wheat down about a nickel. After a nice little recovery the last couple weeks. Kansas wheat down it looks like a full dime here, maybe even a bit more. Actually, I had some targets hit on Kansas wheat the last week or so, but a little bit of weakness there. Soybeans down, like I said, that's 17 cents. And canola, I was looking at the live trade, it was down about $2 a ton. So just you're looking for the canola market to go and have a strong close on Friday and go and find that next level of that next layer, right? You want canola to be strong above 650 and go find that 660 to maybe get us to that 670, 680 level. Just not doing that today with what we got from the USDA. All right. It's still, to me, it's, again, we're not at the close yet, but it's hanging in all right. Down a couple bucks is not, nothing to get too worried about. It's anything for me that would stand out here, I'd say, is just that diamond corn and that diamond Kansas wheat. I don't really like to see those ones. So we'll see if there's some more marketing that needs to be done here early next week or not. Yeah, other than that, from a crop marketing perspective, folks, I've been enjoying the mountain air. So I've been a little bit disconnected on what's going out or what's going on from a price perspective. I know the oat market seems to have been very quiet. I think bids are slightly recovering, but it looks pretty darn quiet to me. From a yellow pea perspective, we saw that decline after India put that 30% tariff on those Canadian peas. But even a small recovery from that initial dip, I think there's a lot of sevens or slightly better out there. Yeah, so nothing too exciting in the pea market, the flax market. It's kind of been status quo. So yeah, higher bids in wheat. That's been a theme across the prairies. Again, it's a slow grind, but it's there. What pardon me, what was $7 CPS a few weeks ago is $7.50 this morning in portions of Alberta. Hard red spring wheat that was 7.25 was $7.50 to $7.70 in some parts of the prairies. You saw a little bit of demand for canola, some export demand. Bungie stepping up and looking for some November bushels. Even saw a few Richardson locations looking for some November bushels. Farmers still aren't really selling a lot of volume. I'm not here to say that's a good move or a bad move. Obviously, it's been a good move the last couple of weeks. But buyers they're out there struggling to extract bushels, and maybe that's the theme all winter long. But that is the theme as of November 14th. All right. Okay. Now we'll get back into it. Regular episode next week. Just want to finish off this live hit here with eating your veggies. For this week, if you follow along on the podcast, eating your veggies, we're all supposed to eat our vegetables with dinner. It's the right thing to do. It makes us healthy. These are some of the healthy crop marketing, farm business type decisions that I'm looking at or considering right now. And so I usually do three. Number one, crop marketing as a whole, I do think there's a sell window here that you need to work through and acknowledge. I don't think it's that quiet from a selling side. Maybe there's some targets, but cash flow needs get very heavy throughout the winter months for prairie farmers. So your crop marketing needs to be top of mind right now, and there should be some type of selling activity. Maybe it's targets, maybe it's selling grain and looking at different strategies. Maybe you're just trying to protect prices where they're at. To me, there's things to be doing. All right. Second one for eating your veggies, just a little fertilizer price check. Okay. I'm a little disconnected the last couple of days, but I did see, we sent out that episode late October, chaos in the fertilizer market, and then prices declined a little bit more after that. And now I saw maybe a rise of about $5 a ton from just one of the major players. All right. So I don't think there's alarm bells quite yet, but I'd say just check into that fertilizer price. And my last one, is just, again, continuing to build on your 2026 crop marketing plan. And, just spending the time and the energy to look at what is out there and what's even nearby. Like, I was chatting with a farmer, I'd been earlier this week actually, but we were looking at the Kansas wheat market and the CPS wheat market. And, we were touching values, around the 775 to 780 type level for next fall. And all I'll say to that is we weren't expecting that number to come back, and that's what did, right? And so maybe there's $8 hard red out there in your region for next year. Those are things to look at. Maybe it's the canola that has touched, 1450 and 1475 of parts of the prairies. Maybe that's it. But you start building that plan for next year. You don't have to go and sell a whole pile of stuff, but just to start to build that plan and figure out your budget, your costs, your margins, what's showing you some potential here, and then taking a little bit of action. All right. A little bit of, maybe it's defensive strategy. Maybe you look at, you're looking at some puts or something like that, but just starting to make sure you spend time and energy in that 2026 crop marketing plan. I'm talking about the crop you're growing next year. All righty. All right, folks. I talked about the auction, the charity auction. Again, congratulations to Eva and JC Lebrad of Arborfield, Saskatchewan. They're heading over to Halifax here. What is that next? Not next week, the week after. They won our Harvest Hustle contest. And I'm sure I had more to talk about, but I'm going to leave it at that for you on this Positive Friday. So have a good one. Have a good weekend. For the What the Futures podcast, my name is Ryan, and I'm out of here. Take care.